Scott, he just make you wanna. This is episode 103 of the Rhythm and Rhymes podcast. I'm your host, AJ Hughes. Here are my co-hosts, Antonio Hughes. First day out, we're not gonna get into it. You know what I'm saying? YouTube monetization rules. How's your week going? Otherwise,
I'm at the crib. I'm chilling, bro. Going.
Bro's on house arrest. He got the wife beater and everything. I'm just playing.
No,
No,
I'm
he's
not.
not. He's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. Speaking of criminals, I wanted to get into Young Thug real quick. I wanted to, yo. I watched the Young Thug interview. I want to know, did you watch the Young Thug interview in its entirety or at least some clips? Because I have a lot to say.
I watched until an hour and 45 minutes because that shit was 3 hours for no reason. I don't know why it was 3 hours.
It was 3 hours long, and I watched the whole thing. It came out on Saturday or Sunday, and I ain't had nothing to do. It was at night, so I watched the whole thing. And I did want to say, I guess what I had to say wasn't really about snitching. I feel like the discourse about snitching or not snitching, that's been the center of conversation right now. For me, I don't know, when he started off talking about like how he grew up, whether he was lying or not, I'm like, bro, could you imagine growing up like that?
No, like, I'm not gonna lie. That was the part that really hit me too. Like, I'm sitting here, obviously, you hear about people like Kendrick talk about, oh, I lost this many friends in your life, but genuinely losing your brother that early.
Me not getting love, the proper love from my entire family made me seek love from niggas. You know what I'm saying?
It was definitely a lot of trauma in the way he was talking, and it's like, it got me to thinking, like, everything that followed, all the other stuff that he talked about, like the trial and everything. It's like, when your start is like, that was the first time in a while where I really like realized how like me and you have no way of being empathetic to a person like that, because we ain't grow up like that. We could be sympathetic, but empathetic, like, it's so far removed from, like, bro, 11 brothers and sisters in one house sharing a bed with 4 people. Bruh,
Right.
I ain't even like sharing a bed with you on vacation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, bro, imagine y'all not having no money. It's 11 of y'all. You went, and so many things started to make. He said he started wearing his sister's clothes to school, and his sister couldn't go to school because they ain't have enough clothes. So of course he's used to wearing women's clothing, bro. Like that, that's what I was thinking. And I'm just like, it just sounded, there was just so much in his interview that just felt so sad to me. It made me feel like, on one hand, super grateful that I didn't grow up like that, but also super sad because it's like, the path, I don't want to make it sound like he doesn't have a choice, but the path that you start down, it's like the further down it you get, the less good options you have. Once you get to the point where it's like you on trial with 28 people that you know, and you're being held responsible for everything that they've done. It's like, one, that's not fair, which is why he didn't end up getting those cases. But two, is to be like, yo, I'm out of it. It's too late. You've been in jail for 2 years on trial. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, I don't know. That I wasn't really into this Young Thug Gunna thing, but until I saw the interview and heard him talk, I was like, dang, that's tough.
Yeah, you could definitely hear a lot of pain in it. I felt you're definitely right about the fact that you can't really empathize if you haven't been through that situation. You can't really understand that type of survival mindset if you've never been in that type of survival mode. And I feel like, obviously, you see people on the internet talking about it, and they try to, but they just don't completely understand how he could think like that, how that could be the mindset that he has. And I really think a lot of what you see is what you become. Like you said, maybe he didn't feel like he had another choice, or it's like he said in the interview, he was talking about, oh, I was looking up to Wayne, and I was looking up to, he said, some basketball player, I think, but he said he was looking up to those people. Then his brother got killed. He started looking up to the dope boys and the people he saw handling their business that was around him. So it's like your environment plays a large part in who you become, the type of person you are, and the way that you think, even.
Head up, chin up, fuck that, nigga. If we go to prison for the rest of our life, whoop they do.
But what I will say is, something that the reason I stopped watching the interview was because by the time he got to about an hour 30, an hour 45 minutes, it started to feel like that Jay-Z line where he said, oh, you made Hove, go make another one. Like, that whole first 8 bars in Lost Ones really described that interview to me. I feel like, yes, you had a big part in what Gunna did before he went to jail. You're one of the only reasons that Gunna got on in the way he did, because he was able to tie himself to you, and people almost saw him as like an extension of you, kind of like Little Key. But I genuinely feel like after jail, it was like he had to separate himself from you. Everybody saw him as a rat. He called him a rat. He said he told on them or whatever. But then from there, the next 3 albums was, to me, that felt like Gunna. Like, it was the first Bread and Butter that came out, Gunna. The next 3 albums that came past that, Gunna. Him starting a run club and finding another way to build a fan base, Gunna. Like, there's 3 albums of him doing that. And of course, there's all this back catalog, but he's sitting there in people's face trying to now build himself up. And it's not like he never sat there and never gave you credit or anything like that. It's just, if you sitting here calling me a rat, if you sitting here talking about me from jail, doing all this stuff, why am I going to speak on that if I'm already a nigga who don't talk about much? He already don't go on many interviews, already don't say much. So it's like, what, kind of like he said, what can I say? That's what I chose to do.
So you don't, that I made you go make another one. I don't, the way I feel about it is, if I essentially put you in artist development for 3 to 5 years before you actually blow up, I had a hand in your ascension.
Yeah.
A big hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, the part of the interview that was super interesting to me was them talking about Lil Baby and P. Did you hear that part?
Was that more towards the end? Because I feel like
it might have been. Essentially, he was saying when Lil Baby initially, like, Lil Baby was with a Young Thug. He was like the same way he was bringing up Gunna, paying for studio time, helping him write and all that stuff. He was doing that with Lil Baby, and then he put out like 2 or 3 songs when they was on tour, and P came in to come and sign Lil Baby. But by that time, Freestyle was already hot. Freestyle was already like one of the hottest songs that year when he came to sign him. And he was like, the difference between how Lil Baby got signed and how Gunna got signed. Lil Baby got signed while he was hot.
Right.
Gunna got signed when he was, I don't want to say nobody, but he hadn't put no music out yet. He wasn't even an artist yet. And I guess, and at this point, you're right. Like, he's out of jail, he's putting out his own music, and now he's running with it. Because the only argument that Thug was making was that, which this is where you get into the semantic opinion game. It was like, if I made you in that capacity, you should never turn on me. That's a moral opinion, right? Like, you feel that, and anybody with some level of moral and ethics, let me not say that. The perception is that if you have a level of moral and ethics, the people that help you along your journey, you are indebted to in a way, you know? But
I
just don't, I feel like that's where the line is for me to argue and not argue. Like, I'm not about to argue street ethics, right? So if Gunna don't feel obligated, or he doesn't feel that morally, I ain't got really nothing to say about that. But on the music side, if at any point Gunna was like, yo, this was all me, I don't feel like that's fair.
No, but I don't feel like Gunna has ever came out, and even now with the 3 albums where he's been trying to build back up his reputation and build back up his fan base, I don't think there's been a moment in that, what's it been, 3 years, where he's came back and said fuck Young Thug, or been like, oh, I don't really, he didn't make me, I made myself, I never need him. He never said that. He claimed the whole, I guess, the YSL brand, we could just call it the brand, because the gang thing is not, they lost. So I mean, Thug won, but whatever. But the whole brand, he was still sitting there pretty much repping that through, sitting here still putting out albums on your label, doing all this stuff. And I just said, I just said that whole Jay-Z thing and those lines because I do feel like that. Like, I kind of feel like it's really similar, obviously not with the same type of legal issues, but with the Damon J thing, to where it's like, yeah, you put a lot into me. Yeah, you did a lot for me. But then if you did it with me and you feel like I'm the only one that should be able to produce, it's like, you need to produce too. Like, people coming out asking where your music at, people coming out asking about you.
Listen,
and you so worried about me. Like, that's the thing.
I got you in a death row contract. I don't want to hear none of that.
I guess,
bro. I got you in a death row contract. I don't want to hear none of that. I will say, to close this, I didn't understand the perception of the actual case until, like, I didn't understand any perception really until Young Thug came and said, he basically gave the perspective of the jury. Like, the state and the feds are bringing this case against YSL. There's 28 co-defendants. And the way the prosecution is painting the case is that Young Thug is John Gotti and that second in charge is Gunna. That's how they're painting it. They're not painting it that Gunna is a part of YSL. They're painting it as if Gunna was second in charge. I can sympathize with Thug in saying that if the case has just begun and you aren't, because he then went on to say that none of the paperwork they had in terms of like the actual criminal proceedings was related to Gunna. Like his name wasn't on any of the paperwork that they had for the actual crimes. If this is the perception being painted by the prosecution and you know you're not on any of the discovery or any of the evidence, and you, before the case even starts, you come out and say that we're a gang and that it needs to end, all I can say is I can understand him feeling away.
Yeah. And that's
because that's nuts.
You are at that point like staking the claim to it. You're definitely right about that. Like I completely agree with him on that too. I feel like if we're really sitting here as, okay, we're gonna go down with this, I'm within this, maybe he just was, maybe like Thug said, he was being selfish, he was thinking about himself, and
potentially
that happens sometimes, you know.
That should be, and I guess you want to say that should be expected, but Thug genuinely believed in his heart, as according to this interview, he's like, the bros will never turn on me type of deal, which is, and I mean, you would like to think that. That's very optimistic thinking, especially because the one thing he kept saying, he's like, what, outside of Lucci, what beefs did you ever see Young Thug in?
None.
You never saw Young Thug in a beef. If anything, you just saw him, like he kept saying, like a lot of the reasons that people in Atlanta were sort of able to get along or not be beefing was because of him. I didn't know 21 Savage and Lil Baby had a beef, right? I didn't need to know that, but he said it, right? And it was, I don't know, it was just a very interesting interview. And what I left from it saying was that, like, bro, once them boys got you, there's nothing you can do. Once them boys got you, there's nothing nobody can do, bro.
Yeah. Because even outside of, and then we can end this, even outside of him being in jail, now that I feel like, obviously, the speculation is that the Atlanta Police Department and whoever has those tapes is the ones releasing the tapes. Like,
do you think it's the police department?
I really do. I mean, I'm with the whole who took them? Like, who was the one sitting there recording them? I think they're doing that to also ruin his credibility, and that wouldn't surprise me. Once they got you, like you said, they got you, and they're going to continue to try to get you.
I don't want to be the guy to report on Whack 100 News, but Whack 100 had the 28-minute call where he was talking about Drake.
Oh, really?
He said, yes. They talked about this on like a Patreon episode of Joe Budden the other day. He called in or whatever. And he said, the Rick Ross stereotype COs, you know what I'm saying? Like the COs in these jails, $500 will get you anything you want. That's all he said. And I thought it was funny but I thought, like you said, I thought it was the police department. But you said who took them? It made the list a little bit longer for me. And I have a theory. About it. Outside, police is number one for me, but I have a number two. I don't want to say who I think it is yet because I think it'll come out. But I don't think it's 100% certain that it's them. I'll just say that. We'll see. Quickly wanted to touch on Amapiano being its own genre. We came in here probably like a month or two ago, and we talked about how some people in South Africa did not like that other people playing Amapiano outside of like Africa were speeding up the BPM and stuff like that, because they felt like it was taking away from the genre per se. We don't have to recap on that, but the girl who posted that, she does a lot of commentary about culture, arts, and colonialism and stuff like that. And so I had sent you some screenshots she had posted a video essentially saying that subjecting Amapiano to being a subgenre of house allows I feel like the social justice warriors get to this word game where it's like we're not really being productive. So part of me felt like she was saying that Amapiano being a subgenre of house westernizes the genre and allows them to take advantage of it and take responsibility for it, because and her perception is house is now viewed to be a white genre.
True. That's true.
house is now viewed to be a white genre, and so calling Amapiano a subgenre of that thing, when it gets big enough and we start seeing like Katy Perry and Ariana Grande on Amapiano beats, people are gonna be like, "Oh, this is," you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I understand her perspective. I would like to know what you think, and then I'll tell you what I think. I understand her perspective, but I don't all the way agree. I'll say that.
I now that you gave me that context of her saying it's reducing it, I mean, I guess I can see what she's saying because I guess when you I don't know. I feel like most things are derivatives when it comes to music. There's obviously core of what things are and where they come from. I feel like I would make, and maybe that's just me, I would make Amapiano to me, from what I've heard, it's more of a blend of Afro beats and house. Like I feel like that's really what the feeling I've always got from it. And I feel like if we could sit here and not reduce down, but add in subgenres of rap, it's a type of house music. There's techno house, there's different types of house. There's a bunch of different types of these different types of music. So I don't feel like I don't know if it's reducing it. But maybe I'm not the most educated to be able to say that.
It's a good perspective. I guess for me, I've always said the genre is determined by the beat pattern and the production.
Right.
I feel like that takes away all the mumbo jumbo and the ideological capture that that comes with, oh, we did this, we did that. And while I understand her perspective, I think that gives, how do I say this? The I guess the most popular point of view on something doesn't isn't always the right point of view. And
Right.
the people who really know the correct point of view don't acknowledge the incorrect point of view, even if it's wrong, or they'll just say it's wrong.
Right.
So I think saying I'm a piano is its own genre does a couple of things. One, I'm a piano is a derivative of another type of South African house, right? Like it didn't go from American house to Amapiano. It was American and UK house, and then it was Kwaito, which was like the first type of house in South Africa that was like native to the area, and had how they differentiated it. They slowed down the BPM, so the
Mm.
BPM is around 120 for regular house. They slowed it down to 111 to 114 around there. Kwaito. That was like the 2000s and the early 2010s. And then Amapiano came from that. So to
Right.
separate Amapiano, not only does it separate it from like Black American house from Chicago, it separates it from Kwaito, which was super important in South Africa. That was their resistance music. Like it was like hip hop mixed with house. There was a lot of songs like based around like resistance, Mandela, that type of thing. So I feel like one, you're doing yourself a disservice there. And two, just because I guess the masses look at house as a white genre doesn't mean that Black people look at house as a white genre.
Yeah, but I could see how she could have that argument because you could say the same thing about rock. You could say the same thing about blues. You could say like I could okay. I don't know.
My
Maybe
opinion,
I'm
but
an anti.
my opinion for those is the same. Just because the public perception, because in these Western markets they have a bigger population, so they view
Yeah.
it that way. Black people, at least Black people who are being somewhat aware of the situation, are not calling rock or the blues or jazz white genres, even if white people
Right.
are doing it now. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't think just because they're saying, to me, I guess where the problem is that this type of fodder or like separation from like the genre or whatever, it makes us looks it makes us look solely Western.
Yeah.
Like us as Black Americans. It's not only them separating from the West, it's them separating from us too.
Yeah. But I feel
I,
like that's been a thing. They've been doing that. Like I
yeah,
don't know.
and I mean that's real, but I reject I whether or not they acknowledge that we are connected, I
Mhm.
reject the claim that we're not.
Yeah.
So
So do I.
all my opinions are going to stem from that. So while I understand her perspective, and she did acknowledge that house started in Chicago from black people.
Right.
I reject the notion that just because white people now do it, they can't be connected to it anymore. It's like when I was talking about how Fela Kuti was influenced by Americans before he made
Right.
Afrobeat. They reject that notion because they don't want to be connected to us. I disagree.
Diaspora wars just need to stop. That's all it is. It's always the diaspora
Yeah.
war.
Whenever they try and war us up or divide us, I'm like, hey, nah,
Yeah.
I can't do it. Can't do it. Wanted to talk about Iceman really quickly because I don't know what's going on. Drake just put out the 3rd episode of Iceman. He put three different songs in there. He put the song with Yeet, the Cash Cobain song. He put another song in there. I have yet to watch a full episode yet. I mean, a full episode of Iceman. This one is probably the one I watched the least. What do you think of this Iceman rollout? And do you think he's fumbling a rollout for an album or he's executing it perfectly?
I think he's trying to creatively fit himself into the times. I think he's also properly using the whole like no publicity is bad publicity. Like I feel like he's trying to fit in with this new generation by working with a Yeet, working with a Cash Cobain, like switching his style more to that versus like people. There was that group of people that really liked the song that came on. I don't even think it was before the Yeet song. I don't know if it was before the Eat song. It was somewhere in the middle of the video, but it was more of him rapping. It felt more like a timestamp record almost. And there was a bunch of people talking about how, he should be doing that. Like he should be focused on that. And there were people who did like it, but I feel like he's still trying to appeal to that younger generation. And I mean, I feel like he's also still on that whole more hits than Mike, more hits than the Beatles. And he's just trying to continue to keep himself relevant. And I mean, I personally have never liked the whole Yeet and Drake collab. I don't like how that sounds. I didn't like the first one that much. I mean, the first song was okay, but even this one, I was like, I'm cool. Like, I just don't
Yeet
need
makes
that.
me feel old.
Yeah, sometimes. I feel like when I was still in like high school, beginning of college, I felt fine with it. But then as he started to change his music, I was like, this is definitely for young niggas. Like, this is just isn't for me.
You are
But
young niggas.
no, but I'm saying like younger than me niggas. Like younger than me. Like I'm talking about the niggas that are currently in high school who I don't like Ken Carson that much. I like a couple Ken Carson songs, but I don't like all the screaming and yelling when it comes to that. I haven't liked a bunch of Playboi Carti's new music. I like some of it, but I don't know. Either way, I feel like I did still like the whole Cash Cobain thing. I've always liked the Cash Cobain, like the sexy drill. I like Wolfface J does it better than him, to be honest to me. And there's another artist in New York. I can't remember his name exactly right now, but I'll put his album up
Sexy
that I really
drill
like.
is hilarious.
Yeah, I know it's weird, but it's that's what they call it. But I like it. I feel like that if anything, that style didn't sound that far off of what Drake makes to me. He makes a lot of that kind of like vibey R&B music, a lot of stuff that has more of the I guess Afrobeats chords, Caribbean chords, stuff like that type of sound. So that really didn't surprise me, but I don't know. I don't feel like he's fumbling a rollout. I feel like he's trying to fit within what's popular right now, and streaming is popular. So if it's like I'm trying to drop this whole thing on streaming or at least stream it through YouTube and all that stuff so people can watch it live like they do with Kai and Aiden Ross and all that stuff. I'm trying to find a new way to market myself. I'm trying to get market research in who's listening to this the most, what markets are listening to this the most, what parts did they replay the most. I'm not hating on it, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not hating on it. And I guess like at Drake's popularity, can you really fumble a rollout?
No.
Not really. But I do feel like it's confusing to me. Like when I watch it,
That's true.
it's very confusing to me. And I guess maybe if the goal, and this is where we'll never know, if the goal is to just create conversation, he's doing it, right?
Yeah.
Like he's definitely creating conversation. If the goal is to like actually get analytics, because my thing is, if you're trying to see who's going to watch you live immediately, if you're going to try and, I guess, gamify the retention curve on YouTube, right? Like putting a 40-minute video and having people just like waiting for songs, that is something I've thought about. And the music, I don't know. I didn't like any of the music that came out from him recently, the Cash Cobain or the songs, but I like the Central C record. I like What Do I Miss? So if the music continues to be good, then I don't really care. And I don't think he fumbles it. You know, I think maybe he's just like getting his YouTube ready potentially. But in I guess this is somewhat related to that. The episode that you weren't here, I did the top 10 artists on YouTube with monthly listeners. Right? Where do you think Drake was on that list?
Probably 3, because I would think Taylor is probably over him.
No, oh wait. So it was I did a top 10 Black or African diasporic list. I did the regular list,
Oh,
and he wasn't on the regular top 10, but I did basically a top 10 Black artist list. Where do you think he was on there?
Probably 1. Like, honestly, 1. Like, I think if not him, then maybe, like, at this moment, maybe Don Toliver. Like, I don't even know who would be getting that many more streams than him, Black or diaspora. Or, I mean, WizKid.
No.
Is this, wait, I want to guess. Is it somebody like Afrobeats or is it rap? Like, you give me a genre.
Where do you think he's on the list? 1?
I mean, I guess 3. Let's put him at 3 still.
No, he's lower.
9?
Yes.
He's 9?
Yes.
Who's ahead of him right now? Is that just this year or is it in general?
That's currently. It's like monthly listeners. Let me see if I can find the list again.
Wow.
Where's the list? Who do you think's number 1?
I mean, at that point, I'm trying to think.
All right, I got
Beyonce?
the list. No, Beyonce's not on the list.
Oh wow, who's a bigger artist, Black artist than Drake?
This person is not bigger, but this is what the numbers say.
Playboy Cardi, fucking. I don't.
It's Doechii.
It's Doechii.
The list.
I mean, she has, but I do feel like I could maybe see that because she's had more like videos in the past couple of years, and she's had more, I guess, interesting video pieces.
It's a lie. It's a lie. I'm gonna recap the list quickly, but when you hear I have the numbers next to them, so you have an idea. 10 SZA with about an average of 130 million listeners. 9 Drake, 133 million. These are averages because they have to pull numbers in different ways. 8 J. Cole, 162 million. 7 Nicki Minaj, 192 million. 6 The Weeknd, 250 million. 5 Kendrick Lamar, 269 million. 4 Dr. Dre, 271 million. 3 Rema with 307 million. 2 Rihanna with 311 million. 1 Doechii with about 333 million. I do not believe Doechii is outstreaming Drake by 300%. I don't care how much she's put out in the last year.
That's true. Or Rihanna.
But this is where I realized the bot conversation was like real deal, right? Like I wasn't really on the bot wave until I saw the list. But if Drake is trying to get his YouTube and stuff like that ready, essentially because if you increase the retention on your videos, it's going to show your videos to more people, right? So when you go to actually drop music, more people will see it, which gives more of an opportunity for people to click on it, which will increase the numbers or whatever. Right. So if he's doing that, which I don't think he's not thinking about that. I think he's thinking about that. Then I'm on board. You know what I'm saying? And I would just say I would rather the music get here sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think he's really just trying to pull more eyes. Like, he knows that he's about to have eyes on him, and he's trying to bring more, obviously, because he doesn't have the Lucian push anymore either. So he's trying to figure out those different marketing tactics, I guess. So that's why I said at the beginning, I'm not hating, trying to figure it out.
Yeah. All right, we'll see how that goes. I got 2 albums this week that I want to talk about quickly. The first, Vena dropped his debut album called Malik, self-titled. I guess that's his actual name. 17 songs, 50 minutes. If you like R&B, neo soul, or jazz, you will like this album. The features on this album are Georgia Smith, Leon Thomas, Smino, Yusuf Days, Kari, Mike, and Marco Bernardis. A couple of those I don't know. A couple of those everybody will probably know. And as an actual like producer, this album is one of those where you throw it on and I don't want to say there's not songs because they do divide up nicely, but it feels like a project. It feels like super cohesive and something you throw on and just listen to top to bottom. I'm really enjoying this. I would say my favorite song right now is Myself with Georgia Smith. I think her voice is just so crazy over this type of production. It makes all the sense in the world. But this is an actual, I want to get away from just saying all the new music that's come out and just talking about the music that I'm going to continue listening to because it's that good. So Malik by Vena is something I feel like everybody should check out.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too. I got to listen to probably up until I got past. I got to the Smino song, and I haven't really finished the whole thing, but I like the heavy instrumentation on it. I'm a big instrumentation person. I kept hearing the different horns and saxes throughout the first couple of records. I also like the Georgia Smith record. I also think the record with Mike was interesting. Mike is super, I guess you could call him doom Earl Sweatshirt, like that whole type of
Yeah,
low
like rap over like
yeah, yeah.
boom bap jazzy beats. I mess with that song too.
Like Mick Jenkins, like same thing. So it's like that.
Yeah.
I've always liked that kind of mix when it comes to that neo soul rap. We're gonna have some jazz in here, but I really think this was a creative album too. It was really creative to me. It didn't sound like a lot that I'm hearing right now. Obviously, you got people like Juicy J putting out jazz albums and stuff, but not like this.
Yeah. I also say the album cover, Vena has an Instagram page that's separate from his main page where it's just photos. Like he's a photographer too. And he travels a lot. The album cover is amazing to me. Like he does a good job of like capturing nature and the colors that he's able to find in the photos that he takes is really dope. But yeah, it gives like an older feel. I really like it. And the last album I wanted to talk about today, it's a EP. It's not an album. No, I think this is an album. This is probably an album. 12 songs. It's Heat the Streets by Elmiene. I want to say it's Elmiene. Listen, I kept hearing his name pop up and seeing his name on Spotify for the last couple of months. He did a song with a remix with Blast and one with a remix with Timbaland. He's signed to Def Jam, which is very interesting to me because I haven't seen a lot of R&B artists sign to Def Jam. This project is one of the best R&B projects I've heard this year. 100%. I made it all the way through, and it gives 2000s R&B type of vibe. Like 5, 6, 7 people in a room, like trying to write records. I played the intro "Useless Without You" before we started, and I don't know, like the way if you listen to the writing, it feels crafted. That's what it feels crafted. It feels
Yeah,
like dudes was in there putting it together. You know what I'm saying? And I really enjoyed it. I went back and listened to all his old music today, and I'm a fan. I can't even lie. I'm really a fan.
I'm gonna have to listen to this. You know, I'm an R&B head, and like I said, R&B. You said at the beginning, R&B back, bro.
It's
Niggas is
back.
yearning again. Niggas
It's
is
back. We
yearning,
back.
bro.
Yo, R&B. Yo, we back yearning. Black man back yearning. That might be the name of the episode. We're gonna see. But if you were looking for standouts I would like you to listen to the whole thing. But if you're looking out for standouts on the project, I would say Capable, Different to Dull Jewelry. Those are my 3 outside of the intro. But give it a listen.
Okay, we'll do. Will do.
All right, man. What songs you got for the people this week? What are you recommending? What have you been listening to? Some T Grizzly. What we got?
First day out, Gucci Mane. Okay, my 2 this week. I'm gonna just go with. I got some Amapiano. That's not wrong. Like I don't got no Amapiano. But first time I had heard this. First time I heard this song, I was sitting there driving down the street or whatever, but Wishy Wishy by Cosma De Small, Virgo, Deep, and DJ Maparissa. I hadn't heard that song. Hard as that.
Yo, Scott's Mafuma. Change your life. Yeah, change your life.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
I didn't
change your
even,
life.
okay, you right. Yeah, I didn't even see he was on there. But that's my one song, and then we'll do Need That by Baby Chief Do It. I'll give y'all some more Chicago music, so that's 2 right there. Need That, Baby Chief Do It, and Wishy Wishy by your boy Scott's Maffa, Cosmo Day Small, DJ Maparissa, all of them boys, you know.
Scott's Mafuma and Lim Crazy. Those 2 are like a Ja Rule hook in O2. That's who they are in Amapiano right now. That would be my equivalent. It's like you see it, you just click it. Because Scott, he just make you want to. And then Lim Crazy. Yeah, no, them 2. Yeah, no, that's a great song. Good recommendation. My 2 would be Selena by Royal. I haven't put the song on here, right? Selena by Royal Music IQ.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Selena by Royal Music IQ. Freddie K. Lean Crazy. He's on there. So I'll give y'all that one. And then there was another song I wanted to give you real quick. Oh, I thought this one was interesting. Y'all let me know what you think when you go listen to it. Miami by Spinall, Olamide, and T.I. Random. T.I. on there is random, but he doesn't sound out of place.
I'm gonna have to go listen to that one. That's crazy.
Yeah, Spinall, that dude, boy. Spinall, Olamide, them dudes. That's it for this episode 103. You know what I'm saying? 38 minutes, a little bit longer. I don't mind it though.
Don't mind it at all, man. Y'all have a good week.
Will Tony will be here this week? We don't know.
Bro, this nigga.
We're gonna see, man. We'll see y'all next week.
I should disappear myself like RDC World.
All right.
I should have known yesterday was finna be